Hello everyone, welcome to another iWoman Report. I'm Kathleen Trigg-Jones in our New York City Broadcast Center. We've got a great show for you today coming up. We're giving you all of the tips on how to keep your heart healthy. Plus, we have an update on the latest development in the fight for our reproductive rights in America. Then, we're going to be joined by the viral TikTok sensation, the rideshare queen herself, Deanna Dixon. But first, let's get into our top stories. We're starting out with a very disturbing story that marks the end to a long and tragic chain of events. TikTok momfluencer Ruby Frank, many of you have probably seen her videos. Well, she has millions of followers online, but she and her ex-business partner, Jody Hillbrandt, have each been sentenced to 4 to 60 years in prison after they pled guilty to abusing 2 of Frank's 6 children, the length of which will be decided by the Utah Board of Pardons and Parole. The Utah native went viral online with her family content-based YouTube channel, 8 Passengers, that showcased life with her family, including her husband, Kevin, and their 6 kids. In 2021, the couple sought counseling, and this is where they met their therapist, Jody Hillbrandt. After a year of therapy, Hillbrandt suggested the two separate and for Kevin to end communication with his family. However, last September, Frank and Hillbrandt were arrested. Each was charged with 6 counts of aggregated child abuse after the youngest of Frank's children climbed out of a window and ran to a neighbor's house with duct tape around his wrist and ankles. Another one of Frank's children living in the home was found to be malnourished. The children were taken to the hospital for treatment. The charges were not a surprise to many online followers who speculated that something wasn't quite right, going all the way back to 2020, after one of the children revealed in a vlog that he had his bedroom taken away as punishment. Slowly, more evidence unraveled, and followers started combing through her videos online and looking for more instances of potential abuse. Frank and Hillbrandt began their own channel called Connections, which some labeled a cult. Well, apparently the women posted more mom content with extreme views on parenting, including saying that children shouldn't be listened to and that they don't deserve privacy. At her sentencing, Frank said that she was led to believe that the world was evil and that this paranoia is what led to her criminal acts.
I was led to believe that this world was an evil place, filled with cops who control, hospitals that injure, government agencies that brainwash, church leaders who lie and lust, husbands who refuse to protect, and children who need abused. It is important to me to demonstrate my remorse and regret without blame. I take full accountability for my choices, and it is my preference that I serve a prison sentence.
The children's well-being is, of course, everyone's top priority. While 2 of her kids, Sherry and Chad, are legally adults and were not living in the home at the time of the arrest, the other 4 are now in the custody of the Department of Child and Family Services. Their estranged father is working to mend his relationship with his children, focusing on doing what is best for them. When news broke that Frank and Hildebrandt were arrested, Frank's oldest daughter shared her relief on Instagram. Moving on to the fight for women's reproductive rights, as women continue to fight for their most basic rights in the aftermath of the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade, reproductive freedoms in America have taken another devastating blow. Alabama's Supreme Court has ruled that unimplanted embryos created via IVF are children under state law, meaning someone can be held liable for destroying that unfertilized embryo. This is the first ruling of its kind, as at least 11 states have defined personhood as beginning at fertilization. The case argued whether a patient could be held liable for accidentally destroying a couple's embryos in a wrongful death suit. The court ruled that it could under the Wrongful Death of a Minor Act. Alabama is one of the strictest states regarding abortion rights, putting a near absolute ban on abortion since Roe v. Wade was overturned. This ruling could lead to difficulties for IVF treatment in the future. Most couples create multiple embryos for a higher chance at becoming pregnant, and what to do with those remaining embryos often is an extremely difficult choice for them. With this new ruling, it may be an even tougher decision if disposing of that unused embryo could lead to wrongful death lawsuits. This story leads me to my question of the day. Has the Alabama Supreme Court gone too far in ruling that destroying an unfertilized embryo is illegal under the Wrongful Death Act of a minor? I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think that this new ruling in Alabama is going to reduce the number of couples even considering this path to parenthood in the first place? Speaking of women's issues, did you know that February is Heart Health Month and women are at a much higher risk of developing heart disease? Ladies, I want you all to stay heart healthy, and there's no better way to do that than to focus on your heart health. Heart disease is the leading cause of death for women, and non-Hispanic and Black women have the highest rate out of any ethnicity. An easy way for us to keep our heart healthy is daily exercise. That's right, a recent study in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology found that women actually need less exercise to get the same exact results as men. During their study, researchers found that women who exercised for at least 150 minutes a week were 24% less likely to die from any cause than women who exercised less than that amount, compared to men who were only 15% less likely to die. Adding at least 30 minutes of exercise to your daily routine can seriously improve your life and your heart health. So let's make a pact together, women. Coming up, we are talking to the rideshare queen, Deanna Dixon. Stay with us. Women contribute $20 trillion to the global economy, yet there's not a news and entertainment network focused on the issues that matter most to us. Until now. Introducing iWomanTV. Become part of the fastest growing global network of women supporting women, featuring new, classic, and original films and TV shows. Studies show when women support women, they are much more successful. Feature your content on the only network created by women, about women, for everyone. Subscribe today at iWoman.tv. Welcome back. The next time you happen to be in Atlanta and you happen to a rideshare service, you may be lucky if you get in the car with Deanna Dixon. She established her career as a vocalist singing background for artists like Beyonce and John Legend, as well as being part of Kanye West's Sunday Service Choir. However, her Hollywood career really took a backseat when she chose to prioritize her daughter and moved to Atlanta, where she became a rideshare driver. Well, Deanna's life took a turn after she posted a seemingly mundane video on TikTok showcasing her ability to forge deep connections with her passengers through her musical performances and meaningful conversations. Quickly named the rideshare queen, Deanna has now collected over 5 million views across all social media, catching the attention of celebrities like Rihanna and Chance the Rapper. And now she is here to tell us about her extraordinary journey from vocal diva to rideshare queen. Hey Deanna, thank you so much for joining us on the iWoman Report.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are. I'm so happy to be here.
You know, I'm going to start it out the way I started when I met you. Hey, Queen.
Hi, Queen.
I love it. We've decided that that's the way that all queens should be addressing each other from this point on, right?
Absolutely. That is my new greeting going forward. Thanks to you.
I love it. I love it. Let's dive right in because you have been called now the rideshare queen, and we're just going to go with that as well. We're coining that. That is the word of God right now. This is your lane, literally, and you've been really maximizing this opportunity, and I'm in love with your content.
Thank you so much. Wow. It has been an incredible journey finding myself again.
Amen to that. Let's start right there. So you were in LA, you were singing, doing your thing, and at some point you decided to make that switch to a little bit of a simpler life and move to Atlanta?
Absolutely. So I was singing in a choir called the Sunday Service Choir, which Kanye had started in 2019, and was accomplishing some incredible goals as a background vocalist. I got to perform with Beyonce at the Academy Awards, John Legend at the Grammys. So some would say I was at the peak of my career as a background vocalist. However, as I was ascending, I started really noticing some things happening in my personal life that didn't align with the way I wanted things to go as far as my daughter. Felt like she was really struggling at the time. And so I had to make a really hard decision and walk away from those opportunities in LA and move back to Atlanta so she could be closer to family.
She is a star. You do know that, right?
I do. It's so funny watching her because I feel like we oftentimes are very parallel. Like I am watching her come into herself because she has been so shy and afraid, and I've gone through many transitions. As much as I've accomplished, I've still had, a lot of self-doubt sometimes because the industry can be really harsh, and I feel like we're both kind of like blossoming at the same time. So yes, she is my little star.
Mama's blowing up now. Mama is the rideshare queen of the universe now. So
Yes.
yeah, congratulations. What advice would you have to other women that are watching this, or people in general that are watching this, that have hit that rock bottom and are trying to figure out how to pull themselves back up?
That's a wonderful question, and my favorite piece of advice to give to anyone is the things that you're trying to hide from the world are the things that make you most beautiful. And what happened for me was I just started to share exactly where I was in my life. I was in a transition, and that transition brought me to doing rideshare and has opened up some incredible doors just by me being myself. So don't hide from the truth. Don't hide from each season because it truly is a part of your story. And who wants a boring story anyways?
Amen. Like, what are we here for if life's not to be lived? All right, so take me on a little ride right now. I'm just getting in your car, and you're gonna drop me off at my destination. We're gonna end this in a minute, but take me on a ride.
All right. Good morning. How are you doing today?
I am excellent.
You're excellent. Oh, I love that answer. I love when someone comes in my car, and I always ask this question on a scale of 1 to 10. Where are you on that scale today?
I'd say I'm at least an 8.5 every day because I open my eyes.
I love how you start your day. 8.5 is amazing. And what would get you to a 10?
If I heard you sing a song, maybe.
If you heard me sing a song, that would get you to a 10?
I think I'd be at a
Okay.
10 plus.
Oh my goodness. You're riding with the rideshare queen. You're riding with the rideshare queen. 'Cause you know that you're a queen too.
I love it. I am at a 100 now. Thank you so much, Deanna. You are a blessing. You're a force to be reckoned with. You are the rideshare queen, and people would be blessed to be able to hear you do this like all the time. Let's make it happen.
I received that, and from your ears and my ears and my lips to God, it is happening. It's already happening.
And so it is. And please give Dakota a huge hug and a kiss for us and tell her continue to be great.
Thank you so much. Have an amazing day.
You as well. God bless you. I love her. Don't you guys just love her? Can't you see that show on iWomanTV? What do you guys think? Like, I'm definitely hitting up Uber. We're going to get that show on iWomanTV for certain. You can check out the Rideshare Queen on Instagram and TikTok at I am Deanna Dixon. Make sure you show her some love and her little girl, Dakota. Stay with us. When we come back, we're going to reveal what you wouldn't have if it weren't for a black woman. Welcome back. During Black History Month, we're shouting out some of the most influential black female inventors, making sure that you know who to thank for the life-changing and sometimes mundane inventions that we probably can't imagine living life without. This week, I want to tell you about Dr. Patricia Bath, an ophthalmologist and laser scientist who invented the device and technique now used for cataract surgery called the laser phaco probe, which was less invasive, faster, and cheaper. A career full of firsts, Dr. Bath was the first Black female physician to receive a medical patent, the first female faculty member at UCLA's Jules Stein Eye Institute, the first woman to become the chair of the ophthalmology residency training program at Drew UCLA, and she even created the field of community ophthalmology, which combines community medicine, public health, and clinical ophthalmology. She believed eyesight was a basic human right, and she co-founded the American Institute for the Prevention of Blindness in 1976. This was all prior to her revolutionary invention, which she developed in 1981. Although Dr. Bath retired in 1993, she continued to do advocacy work for the Institute, along with other causes in the medical field. She was the first of 2 Black women inducted into the Inventors Hall of Fame in 2022. Though Dr. Bath is no longer with us, her legacy continues to live on forever, touching the lives of those who thought that they may never see again, which could be any of us one day. Moving on now, I am so excited for our next guest who's going to be joining us right here in the iWoman studio. In just a few minutes, we will be joined by the Queen of Queens. That is the Queens Deputy Borough President, Ebony Young. Stay with us. Welcome back. Earlier you heard from the rideshare queen, and now we're taking you to the Queen of Queens. Ebony Young has spent over 20 years working in the nonprofit sector as an executive leader at organizations such as the YMCA and the Black Entrepreneur Initiative. As a motivational speaker and certified life coach, she gives back to her community with confidence, passion, and innovation. And today she is here to talk about an upcoming groundbreaking achievement of bringing the very first Black diversity official citywide tech hub to New York City. While it'll be housed in Queens, the hub is going to be open to all New Yorkers. Welcome to the iWoman Report, Ebony. I'm always excited when I get to bring one of my sister friends on the show who also just happens to be, you know, a trailblazer and a queen.
Yeah.
So thank you, Ebony
Absolutely.
Young, for
Thank
joining
you for
us.
having me today. Enjoy it. Yeah.
100%. It's funny, earlier on the show we had the rideshare queen, and I introduced you as the queen, the true queen of queens.
Loving it. I'll take that, Kat. Yeah.
Well, it's much deserved. So you are the vice president or the deputy borough president
Absolutely.
of the borough of Queens here in New York.
Yeah.
Let's start with what that actually means. What does it mean to be you are the deputy
I'm
borough
the deputy borough president. So each of our boroughs has a borough president that almost trickles up a voice to the mayor of the city. And then that borough president appoints a vice president, which is entitled a deputy borough president.
And what exactly do you do in that role?
Yeah, so I am able to basically lead 2 major areas for the borough of Queens, and that's tech and well-being. And then I manage 5 other policy areas, education, health, tourism, housing, etc. And, with 20 years of service in working in nonprofit and leadership and executive work, it was just transferable. It's been amazing, an amazing journey. Yeah.
What I'm really excited about is what you shared with me about the tech hub that you're bringing to Queens.
Absolutely.
And this will be the first Black and brown tech hub in New York City.
In New York City. And while it will be housed in Queens and Long Island City, we will service all individuals who are at Seed and Series A, being Black or brown in the city. We're going to start with 50. We've got a 33,000 square foot space in the Altice building on the 33rd floor overlooking Manhattan. We are breathing elite status. It is important for our Black and brown people to understand that being in these type of environments end up opening up opportunities like never before. So we're really excited.
Why is that so important? It seems like everything right now is going to tech.
Yeah. Well, everything is going to tech because tech is not just the future, tech is now. Black and brown people are already at a divide, a digital divide, an economic divide. Ultimately, it's a wealth building divide, right? And we understand that we've been through the industrial era. We've been through, the automotive era. We've been through all of these eras, and now tech is upon us. And if Black and brown people don't start operating and functioning at very high levels of operation in tech, our middle income will become poor. And on the other end of the spectrum, our millionaires become billionaires and billionaires become trillionaires. And so we're at a fork in the road right now where we have to make some tough decisions, and we've got to make them fast. And if we don't make them fast, we are apt to be another 30, 40, 50 years behind in our wealth.
You know, when I think about technology and really think about AI and see how quickly it has kind of taken over, that means that this has been in the works for many, many, many years. And we're just now catching up.
We're just now catching up, and it's unfortunate. What we have to learn how to do is to be ahead of the game, to be very proactive in what we do and how we do it. And unfortunately, with the whole tech thing, we haven't done that yet. And so the encouragement is to say, okay, having these individuals in this tech hub, what's next? Yeah, AI is here, generative AI is here, XR, VR, et cetera. Where do we go next? Let's talk about what's in the next 50 to 100 years. And so we're not just operating and functioning in the now of what is happening, but what is the real future.
And how will the tech hub help that? What does it mean exactly to have a tech hub?
Absolutely. So the tech hub will expand to an incubator, a space for Black and brown people to have case management, to be led by a Princeton, UCLA grad who's been in the Silicon Valley world, worked with federal folks around this tech hub concept, and to basically manage their process and allow them to expose themselves to opportunities, to funding, to mentorship throughout that process. And so we're looking to create metrics, we're looking to create data around how Black and brown people scale in their business. And so these metric and data reports will be handed out every year. So our Economic Development Corporation, our mayor, our borough presidents have real substantive pieces of evidence to say this is working.
I love that. Yeah. I want to actually end on something that you say to me when I'm starting to fall into a self-doubt phase. Ebony always says to me, go.
Go.
Gotta go, just go. Don't delay, go.
Go, audience, go. I love it, Kat. Amazing. Love working with you. Love iWomanTV. You're doing such an outstanding work for the causes of women, to see women flourish and fly. And once again, I say fly like an eagle and just go.
Amen. Right. Thank you so much, Ebony, for joining us today.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Ebony, for being a trailblazer. You can watch Ebony's full interview by logging on to iWoman.tv. Stay tuned for my final thought of the day. Welcome back, everyone. Before we leave you today, I want to share a little sad news and ask all of you to join us in celebrating the life of renowned AIDS activist Hadiya Broadbent, who has passed away at the age of 39. Hadiya touched many of our hearts when she appeared on the Oprah Winfrey Show when she was just a little girl, telling the world about being born with AIDS and the struggles that she endured. She went on to become an absolute trailblazer in the fight against AIDS, using her voice and her platform to educate the world on what it was like to live with AIDS.
What's the hardest part for you, Hadiya? Living with this disease.
Basically, that's like when your friends die. If you stay in your bed and feel sorry for yourself and don't get up with the birds and just sit there and say, well, I'm gonna die, why get up and try and make a difference?
Hadiya's family released a statement asking for everyone to remember her for her work as a worldwide AIDS advocate, as well as the daughter, sister, aunt, godmother, and family friend that she was to everyone who loved her so much. Thank you, Hadiya. Your presence will certainly be missed. And this brings me to my thought of the day. What will you use your voice for? One of my favorite quotes comes from one of my sheroes, the Miss Shirley Chisholm, the first Black woman elected to Congress and the first Black woman to run for president. She said service is the rent that we all pay for the privilege of living on this earth. I often struggle myself with what my role on earth is. I happen to be born with a really big heart and a ton of empathy and maybe even a little bit of survival's remorse. Having started my life out as an orphan in an orphanage, I can't help sometimes but wonder about all the other children who spent their entire lives there, having never received the blessing of a forever family as I did. My inclination is to help everyone. I want to save the world, and life is really short. It's real easy to say, I'll make a difference when I retire, or after my kids grow up, or when I get another job, have more money, when I get married, or when I get around to it. However, tomorrow's not promised. So what if you never get around to it? I'm going to do you all a favor. I want you to join me. I want everyone to take out a pen and paper right now, and I want you to do me a favor. I want you to draw a circle. We're going to do this together. Draw a circle, and in the center of it, I want you to write the words, to it. Can you see that? Here you have it. You now have a round to it. So get busy making your mark on the world, all right? No more excuses. Post this on your door, post it on your cubby, put a screensaver. You now have a round to it. Let's get busy, all. There's a lot of work to be done in the world. That's going to do it for this iWoman Report. I want to thank all of you for joining us. Everyone, please stay healthy, stay happy, and stay safe.